Alrighty, hello again. Today I am going to go over how to switch over a microworm culture. I try to keep two cultures going, one that I'm feeding from and one that is growing. So this one is the one that I've been feeding my fry from, and this one over here is the one that I've been growing. Well, this one is getting to the end of its I'm not sure how to say it's getting to the point that it's about to go bad and the whole culture will crash. And that's why I started this culture. Once it got to growing, before I started feeding from it, I went ahead and started this second culture. That way I never completely depleted my microworms. So I'm going to show you how I do it. I've looked several videos up on YouTube and tutorials on how to do it, and I've also tried a few things myself. My first culture, I made the media way too liquidy, so it turned into soup. So I experimented with the next one with making it a little bit thicker. So I'm working on that perfect mix and the best way to go. And my second culture actually is doing really well, so a lot better than my first one. So I'm going to once again make it about the same consistency I did that one. So I got here this is just some dechlorinated water about room temperature. We're just going to pour that down in there. We can add more, less. Here I got just plain instant potatoes, no flavored anything like that. It's just plain instant potatoes. We're going to dump this in. Stop there, mix it up some. You can always add more potatoes, more water, till you get the right consistency. So that's still really soupy, so we're just going to dump the rest of that in there. And mix it around really good. Yeah. This is too thick. So some more. We're going to add in just a little more water. So while I'm doing this, microworms is a great food source for a lot of fish fry. Not only for betta fish, which is what I keep and use it for, but really any fish fry that you have, guppies, mollies. It's a great food source for them. It's a live food. These guys are really cheap to kind of get a hold of. I got my starter culture off of a seller from eBay. There's plenty of them on there. I do highly recommend, if you're buying anything offline, go on, look up comments, other people's experiences with them, because it did take me a while to get my first culture. There was some issues with shipping, and I didn't receive them, so I had to go to another seller, which I've not seen back on eBay. So he or she may have stopped selling. I'm not sure. So this is about the consistency of my last ones, which if you look up other videos on YouTube, they say that you actually want it a little thinner than this, but I find that this is a really good consistency. Now we got here just some plain yeast. I can open this up. So we're just going to sprinkle the yeast pretty heavily. And what I like to do is when I add the yeast, add just a little bit of water on top of the yeast. It might have been more than a little bit. It was more than a little bit. And then I mix it good and around, because from my understanding, and please do not hold me to this, but from my understanding, the microworms don't actually eat the yeast. They eat a bacteria that the yeast excretes. Not 100% sure on that. I'm not a expert on microworms. This is really my first experience with them and using them, so by far I do not know everything about them. And you can see in this container, I filled it up a good bit more than what I did this one. Didn't really mean to do that, but I don't with these cultures and stuff, the more media that you actually have for them to rest on, the better. And I'm just pushing the potato that's gotten up on the side down, just because I like to have the sides a little cleaner. I'm going to just take a paper towel here and just run it along the edge here. Clean it up a little bit so that it looks a little nicer. Alright, now that's done, I sprinkled just a little bit of yeast on top, and we're going to and I'm just using a plastic spork. You could use a spoon. I would recommend using something more along the lines of a spoon for this part of it. So let me see here. Kind of get in here. So I'm still really new to doing these videos and talking to a camera. So here's our last culture. We're just going to skim the top of this, remove that, and just spread it all over our new media here. I'm just going to spread it around. I mean, it may not look it, but believe it or not, there are thousands and thousands, billions even, of these little worms in here. They're just so tiny. Let's see. See how the surface of that is kind of like sparkling? That's not glare or movement. That is actually the microworms moving inside of there. So you can see, if you put it out to light and you look for that kind of make sure it's setting still and you find that kind of rippling, shining light effect. That's how I tell that, you know, the worms are still in there. And we're just going to scoop out some more of this. And that should be more than enough to get this culture here started. And there's still billions of worms in that other container too. And I like to sprinkle just a tad bit. Just a little tiny bit, not much. A little bit goes a long way there. On there. And then this will get set to the side and will be allowed to grow. And when this other culture gets to the end of its lifespan, we'll switch it out again. Now another thing I did is these lids here, I just put a hole in the top of it, and then we're just going to take, let me get this on camera, got a little hole in the top. We're just going to shove a cotton ball through there. Kind of check it, make sure that it's fully filling in the hole that you put. My last one, I actually took a little more time and cut a square hole so that the cotton ball fit perfectly in it. And this one, I tried that and it just didn't work, so I was like, I don't have another lid for this, so I'm gonna make it work. And that keeps anything from getting in or your microworms getting out. And we just put a lid on this, and I personally keep a record written down on paper as to when I did what. So I would recommend either keeping a log of when you started this culture, or actually taking a Sharpie and writing on there when you started the culture, because you want to switch your cultures out about every 30 days just to keep the culture from crashing and you ending up with no food to feed your fry. Thank you for watching my videos. Please subscribe. I need any subscriber I can get. Comment down in the bottom, and thank you.